Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. Trust you're good, trust you're doing well. So today we're going to be learning how to make a bustier, how to draft a bustier and sew it. We're going to be using the contouring method, whereby we contour the overbust and the underbust to achieve a bustier. In this video we did an off the shoulder bustier, but this formula you can use it to draft. You can use this formula to draft your shoulder dart bustier or your armhole princess dart bustier or off the shoulder princess dart bustier, or you can also use it for your corset. You just need to know how to contour the underbust and the overbust to achieve a perfect bustier. So if it is something you want to learn, keep watching this video. So the measurement you are going to be using for this bustier is your bust circumference, your underbust circumference, your waist circumference, your nipple to nipple measurement, your shoulder to underbust, shoulder to bust points. You are also going to be needing your bra strap to bra strap measurement. It's very necessary if you want to make an off the shoulder bustier. This will guide you on how the width of your bustier is going to be. So this is a well-detailed tutorial on how to draft and cut and sew and pad the bustier. So if it is something you want to learn, keep watching this video. And if you are new here, you're highly welcome. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you have subscribed. Thank you for doing that. Let's get started. To get started with this bustier, I have drafted out a basic bodice block. I've marked the shoulder, the armhole, and necessary line. So I'm going to go ahead and label it. So this is the front part and this is the back part. As you can see, the front part is longer than the back part because of the bust at the front. So the front waistline is usually long than the back waistline. For this person, the difference between the front and back waistline is 1.5 inches. So that is what we are going to be using to get our bust dart. So this is bust point, and here is my under bust line, and here is my waist line. So this is also the bust point, and this is the waistline. So the back part does not have the under bust, so we only deal with the under bust on the front part. So on my waistline, I'm going to mark 1/4 of my waist circumference, of the person's waist circumference, which is around 28 divided by 4 is going to be 7 inches, and I'm going to be adding 2 inches, making it 9 inches. The 2 inches is going to serve as the dart. So on this chest line, I marked 1/4 of my 1/4 of the person's bust circumference. That is what I use in getting the armhole. So from the chest line to the waistline, I'm going to connect. I believe by now you should know how to draft a normal basic bodice block. So on my waistline, I'm going to mark half of the person's bust bar measurement, that is nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2 is going to be 4, and I'm going to be taking that of 2 inches on both sides. Remember, I added 2 inches as the dart while connecting the waistline. So on my bust point, I'm also going to come in by 4 inches for the dart, and I'm going to come down by 3/4 of an inch to connect my dart. The reason is because the person is a bit busty, at least she's on the average side. So to create more room for the bust to relax, so I came down from the bust point by 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. If the person is very busty, you can consider using 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I've made a video on this channel where I show you how to get how to create room for bust, how to make bustier for plus size. It might be helpful for you. Can go and watch. So the difference between the front waistline and the back waistline, on the bust point, I'm going to mark it. In this case is 1.5, so I'm going to connect it to the bust point line. So from the bust point line, I would like to go inward by half an inch. This is just to create space for the bust circumference. If the person is of a plus size, you can decide to just take everything to the bust point. For me, if I'm creating a bust here, for me, I take everything to the bust point. But because the person is a bit busty, and that is the reason why I am creating room for the bust to relax. So you can watch the video on how to create bustier from different sizes. So this is going to guide you on what to do for any bust type. So the video is on the channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. So we have gone ahead to get the front basic bodice block with the darts and with the bust dart. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go into drafting the bustier, and to draft the bustier, I will get the middle point of my shoulder and connect it to the bust point. This is going to serve as a guide for whatever thing we are doing. Normally, I see some persons take the line from their darts upward, but after drafting bustier, you will find out that on the upper part of the bustier is going to be a bit funny. So that is why we always use the midpoint of your shoulder to connect. This is just to create a space on that upper part for the bustier to relax. So having done that, I'm going to go to my shoulder line. I'm going to come down by 5 inches. This is all depends on what you want, depending on how you want the off shoulder to be. For me, I think 5 is on the average and 5 is okay. It won't expose anything. Depending on what your client wants, you can decide to come down by 6, 7, 8 inches, depending on how off you want it. For me, I came down by 5, and on this upper part now is where I'm going to do my overbust contouring. The overbust contouring, and to do the overbust contouring, I'm going to be using 2 inches. I normally use 1.5 and 2 inches when doing my overbust contouring. If the person is on the plus size, or like on the plus size, I can use 2 inches. If the person is a bit maybe below average, I can use 1.5 inches. So what I did here is that towards the armhole side, I mark 0.75 inch, and towards the center front, I mark 1.25. That is how I share the 2 inches, and I'm using my armhole curve to connect. And as you can see, I did not get to the bust point. I didn't get to the bust point. So to make this the place relax, so I didn't get to the bust point, just to create room for the bust. But trust me, if you're on a small size, you can decide to take it to the bust point. It's not going to affect anything. But if you see that your client is busty, not that she's rounded, she's busty at the front, you can do all these things. This is just to create space for the bust to relax. So I'm also going to take this from that point down towards the bust point line, but it didn't get to the bust point. It should be like 1/2 inch above the bust point, though I didn't really measure it, or around 0.25 inch above the bust point. So this is what is called upper bust or over bust contouring. So this is what is going to give that your bustier a firm look at the upper part, so that by the time your clients bend, the bust will not be showing. So this is how you do that. So the next thing is to now do the underbust contouring. So we've done the overbust now. So on the underbust, you're going to mark 1/4 of the person underbust circumference, and then measure the dart intake, and then mark it, and then let's do it again from this point. 1/4 of the person underbust circumference plus the dart intake, then you measure what is remaining on the side there. What is remaining there is like 0.75. so I'm going to share it towards this point. I'm going to mark 0.25 because it's a bit smaller, and towards this point I'm going to mark 0.5 inch, getting the 7.5 inches excess on the underbust line. So this is how you contour the underbust. Like contouring on the underbust is like taking away the excesses just to get a good fit. That is like explaining it now in a way you will understand it, taking excesses, getting rid of excesses to get be a good fit on that underbust. So I think this is a way you'll be able to understand it. So I'm just going to place my French curve, my armhole curve, just see the way I'm doing it, and then I'm going to mark on that bust point line. The way I'm going to mark is such a way that there will be a bit space. Just see what I'm doing and follow it. Trust me, this is very easy. If you're a beginner and you know how to draft a basic bodice block, you should be able to sew an off-shoulder bustier, or you should be able to sew a bustier. Doing this method, you can, if you want, this method is okay. You can turn this to a princess that armhole bustier, shoulder bustier, and this one now we're doing is off shoulder bustier. So this is like a guide for any other one that you want to do. So doing a bustier is very simple. So did you see what I did? So I've gone ahead to contour this part. Did you see? So this is what is called overbust and underbust contouring. This is actually a bustier, drafting a bustier, off shoulder bustier. So I'm going to take the neckline, or just take the neckline of your choice. Measure your client to know where the neckline should sit. So I've just measured my neckline and I'm going to take the neckline. So this is what I have. So did you see? So basically this is okay for me. So there are other things we need to finish up to get a proper bustier. So we can't just leave the bustier like this. And one thing we are supposed to do is to get the new armhole of the shoulder. And to get the new armhole of the shoulder is to get your armhole, which is 8.5, and divide it by 2. And from that line you measure half of it. But before we do that, on this overbust, you are going to mark our strap, our brass strap to strap measurement. I think is about 11. So what I'm going to do is divide it into 2. Is going to be like 5.5. So I'm going to measure it in such a way that I will exclude the dart. You just measure from here and then exclude the dart and start from the other dart leg to get your 5.5. Did you understand? So measure your bra to bra strap measurement and then mark it. You mark it in such a way that you will remove these darts. Did you understand? And then mark the half of the bra to bra strap. So I'm going to get the midpoint of the armhole, and from this line I'm going to mark half of that armhole. Did you see? Half of the armhole. This is where half of the armhole is. So this is my new where my new armhole is going to sit. So from this point now, so I'm trying to start from this point here. Did you see? From this point here, I'm trying to start from there, and then you connect your new armhole where your bra to bra strap ends. That is where you're going to start the connection of the new armhole. As you can see, this is actually very easy and simple. In case you are confused, kindly drop your question in the comment section. Trust me, this is very easy and very simple. So with this, we have achieved our off the shoulder bustier. You can use this for off the shoulder bustier. You can even turn this to armhole bustier. The only difference is that on the over bustier, you do the dart, you take the dart on the armhole. So this is center front and this is side seam for the front. So let's go over to the back. For the back does not really have much deal. So what we are going to do on the waistline of the back, we are going to connect. We are going to mark 1/4 of the waist circumference of the person waist circumference, because we are going to be, we have eliminated the 1 inch on the back part. I'm going to add that 1 inch back, and I'm also going to be adding that of 1.5. Did you see what I did? So 1/4 of my waist circumference, 1 inch for the intake of that at the back part, at the back part, and then 1.5 inch for the darts. Did you see that? So from here I'm going to mark my dart of 1.5 inches. I took 1.5 inches, so I'm going to add that of 1.5 inches. So did you see what I did? Did you see? So here on the bust point, I'm also going to connect the dart. So this is actually very simple, just for us to connect our dart. Then on the back part, we are also going to contour the back part, so avoid gaping on the back part of your dress. So I haven't connected the darts now. This is what I have. The next thing now is to get the midpoint of the shoulder, just like we did at the front. Midpoint of the shoulder, connect it, get the midpoint and then connect it to the bust point. So connect to the bust point. Note that on the front part we came down by 5, so we are going to also come down by 5 on the back part to make it align. Please don't make the mistake of coming down by 5 inch on the front part and coming down by 6 or by 4 inches. Please, whatever thing you use for the front, also use it for the back. So here we are going to be contouring, and to contour I'm going to be using 1 inch for contouring, ½ inch on both sides. You can use up to 1.5 inch for your back contouring. This is going to make the back to be a bit tighter, and so you just connect it straight down to the dart leg. Did you see? It's very easy and simple. Just connect it, try to blend it here, not to have any sharp point and all of that. So the next thing now is also to take the back bra to bra strap, the strap to strap measurement of the back, half of it. You also need it, so you start from here. Don't start from the zipper allowance, and then measure what you have from this point, and then start from the other dart leg to get your bra to bra strap for the back. So whatever thing you have, we are going to measure it. Yours might be different from my own, so just measure your client's bra to bra strap. So also going to get the half of your armhole, and from this point start the half of your armhole. Measure it wherever it stops. That is where your new armhole is going to sit. Did you see that? So this is what I have. So with my armhole curve, I'm going to mark from this point now where the bra to bra measurement stop, and then connect my new armhole. So this is very easy. This is very simple. Trust me, if you get your measurement right and you use this method, it's going to work for you. This is what I've been using, and it has always worked for me, and trust me, it's also going to work for you by God's grace. So you can also try it, and you can give me your result. You can share your result with me also. I would appreciate it. Thank you. So as you can see, I've taken my neckline. So I'm trying to measure if these 2 points are the same thing. So I've taken my neckline now. As you can see, the back part is ready. So trust me, this is very simple to make. So now let's cut out and close up the darts, both the waist, the bust dart. We need to close it up. So let me just cut out the front part of this pattern. So in the next video, I'm also going to show you how to pad the dress. In case you are a beginner, it's advisable you wash it. So close up this bust dart. This is how you close it up. Very simple. You close it up, as you can see. When you close it up, it might not be the same. Did you see? The pattern has been altered. So when you close it up, you are going to redraw the line there. That is the reason why we always close up, so we can redraw it to get the accurate thing. Just pin it down, as you can see what I'm doing. So did you see that? As you can see, the pattern has been altered. So you're just going to straight up connect that part. connect this part. Did you see that? So connect this part now, and then we are also going to close this part. The reason why we are closing it is so that we can, if there is any shortage, we can redraw it. So we need to just close it up. Just take your time. Trust me, once you open up the waist, that all this thing will be easier for you. So I think we just need to redraw we just need to redraw it slightly. Did you see? Just blend that point so everything will be the same. Did you see? So I'm going to just cut up this part. I'm going to pin it down and cut it out. Let me show you. If you open up this, did you see what we have? Did you see? That's why we always close it up. So and then to avoid, if we do not close this up and we cut it like that, we'll have shortage at that point. So when I'm done cutting, I'm just trying to see how is this. I think that point is a bit pointed. So I don't like it being pointed on this post point, trust me. So I'm just going to try to blend out that pointed part. This is going to just make it easier for me to sew. Just blend out any pointed parts or any curvy part. Don't make it too curvy so you'll be able to sew it well. So I think this is okay for me. So by the time I match it from the bust point to the waistline, is the same. Did you see that? It's the same thing. Did you see? So it's okay now. So this is the front part now, and we'll go over to the back part cutting. As you can see, I'm done cutting. This is what I have. So this is the side seam for the back, and this is the center back. Did you see that? So let's see the front and the back side seam now, and not the same after closing up the bust darts. Did you see what we have? Did you see that? So now to add your allowance, this is going to be on fold. This is going to be 2 pieces. This is going to be 2 pieces, and this one is also going to be 2 pieces. So to add your allowance, you're going to add your ½ inch up there or and around here, and here is on fold. Add your ½ inch all around here. Did you see? ½ inch even to the armhole. Then add your side seam allowance, and also you're going to add your ½ inch, ½ inch, and ½ inch, and add your side seam allowance. For this, add your ½ inch here and ½ inch here. Thank you for watching.